And for those of you that don't agree with it, go ahead and hang up and exit the call because we're recording now.
It's a wet way.
Listen. What?
What?
I don't know who that was. But everybody go on mute. And if I catch you not on mute, I'll mute myself. But we have a guest speaker. I'm super, super excited. Lisa Murdock from Utah. She is our sponsor and our superstar director. And it is always a joy to hear anything that comes out of her mouth. She is just a doll and has been such a huge blessing to me and Sean. And I just wanted everybody to know who she is. And tonight she's going to talk about her Scentsy Journey, and she calls it Believing You Can Do It Too. And I fully believe that. I haven't heard what she's going to say, but I fully believe that because she told me that almost 9 years ago. And so I'm going to turn the floor over to Lisa. You can talk as long as you want. And then if anybody, I'm going to go ahead and mute myself. So I'm going to give you the floor. Take it over.
And thanks for inviting me on your call. I'm excited. I love your group. You've got such an awesome group of women and men in your group. And everyone I've met, I love you all. I'm like, you're just awesome. And I was excited to share some thoughts I have with my Scentsy business and my Scentsy story. And I thought I would just start from kind of the beginning so you can kind of know where I was when I started, and then share some thoughts along the way that hopefully will help you in your business. So in the fall of 2007, I was a stay-at-home mom with 3 kids. I had a 10-year-old boy, a 7-year-old boy, and a 2-year-old girl. And I had been staying at home for a few years, and I was selling some products on eBay at the time. I had found some closeout home decor items at a local discount store, and I was running an eBay business, but I was starting to wind down on that. And I thought, gosh, I need to find something new, something that would still work, hopefully for me with being at home, but also bring in some income. And so I went to a boutique that year, the fall of 07, and there was all this vinyl signage. I don't know if you guys remember when there was like the wood frames with the glass and then the vinyl lettering on it, and it was really popular. So this gal was selling a bunch of that she made and sold. And then I thought it smelled so good when I walked in this house. I was like, what is that scent? And I didn't have anyone tell me about anything that was, fragrancy in the home. So after looking at the boutique for a while, I walked around the kitchen and I saw a little Scentsy pot. I didn't know what that was at the time. And she's like, oh, let me tell you about Scentsy. You haven't seen Scentsy before? And I'm like, no. And so she told me about it, and I got really excited. And she got the consultant over to talk to me more about it and showed me the catalog. And I was like in awe. My eyes were like, wow, I've never seen anything like this. And I was so excited about the product, and just knowing that it was safe and didn't have the flame. I was just amazed with the product and how good it smelled in the home. I'd never had a home smell that good ever. And so I told her I wanted to do some kind of a party or something. So she hooked me up with a basket party. And I will tell you, the minute I looked at that catalog, the first thing that went through my mind was, gosh, I might want to sell this. But I didn't say one word to her about that. And so she had no idea that was a thought in my mind. And so that's one little tidbit, is you never know who's thinking about the business and who you might be helping just by mentioning, gosh, I love this business. I love this product. Would you be interested in selling it too? Because I really feel like if she would have said something to me, I probably would have signed up with her. But fast forward, I didn't sign up with that gal. She did my basket party, and she never said anything about joining the business. I kind of pushed it away. I kind of was like, oh, I just don't know if this is the right fit for me or whatever, how you kind of talk yourself out of things. And I decided I wasn't going to do it and or say anything to her. So I finished the basket party. And then that Christmas, we had given a warmer and some Scentsy wax to my brother at a dinner. We were at a restaurant, and I had this Scentsy box and, some Scentsy on the table at this family dinner at this restaurant. And lo and behold, who walks by the table but AD Mitchell. And I had known AD from a previous job years before, and we had just become friends a little bit through that job. And you know how friendly AD is. And so she had, anyway, kept in touch off and on if we saw each other. I didn't talk to her on the phone ever or anything, but just someone I'd run into. And so I could tell she knew about Scentsy because she made a comment about the warmer on the table and walked by. And then it just so happened that at the same time I was leaving, AD left with Bryce, and they were in the lobby of this restaurant watching a football game. There was a football game on out in the lobby, and Todd and I stopped and looked at this game too. And pretty soon, me and AD are chit-chatting. Well, she just told me she had just made Superstar Director that like the month before. And I was like, what? And she started telling me about the business and just got me super excited. I was just like, this is what I've been looking for, you know? And I wanted something I could do from home. I wanted some flexibility, but she told me that income potential was amazing. And I was like, okay, I want to do this. And so she probably loved it because I was like wanting to sign up that night. But she said, you know what? She says, Christmas is kind of tricky because, Scentsy kind of shuts down the week after Christmas a little bit. Back then, they really did shut down. And so anyway, she says, just sign up the first of the year. And so on January 1st, 2008, I signed up to sell Scentsy. And it was, just really exciting. I was like, this is like a New Year's resolution, and to start a new business. And so I signed up. Well, right off the bat, my husband was amazed that I made a paycheck like the month after I signed up. He's like, you're already getting a paycheck? And he loved that because he goes, you've never really done anything that you've gotten a paycheck that quick. And I'm like, I know. I'm like, this stuff sells. My launch party, I sold like $1,200 or $1,300. And it was just, and I had it in January, right after Christmas. And so it was amazing. And something that is kind of unique to my story that I wanted to share is I was, thinking I want to make it big in this company. I want to do big things. And I had some lofty goals in my mind, but I hadn't really, written anything down, I guess, or anything yet. And I watched just a video and it was Jack Canfield, and he wrote all the Chicken Soup for the Soul books. Have you guys seen, right? I mean, about those books probably. They're kind of a positive, fun book. And he talked about how when he wanted to write his first book, he decided he was going to write himself a paycheck. And he was going to write his own paycheck, and he was going to write a check for $1 million. And that's what they were going to pay him for his book. And he said what he did is once he wrote this check, and he says he wrote it as if it already had happened. He goes, he wrote it like with his name, like it already happened kind of thing. And he put it on the ceiling above his bed. So he just taped it up above his bed. And he says every morning when he woke up, he saw that paycheck up on the ceiling. And he says it just motivated him. And he goes, you know what? It happened. He goes, I got a paycheck for that amount. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. So what I did is I got like a sticker, and I wrote it as if it had already happened. I wrote Lisa Murdock, Scentsy Superstar Director, on like a big sticker, like just like this. And I stuck it on the ceiling of my bed. And, we all have dreams and goals. And I mean, I'm like, this is a big, huge thing, Scentsy Superstar Director, and I just signed up. But I would see that every morning, and I was like, this is my mindset. Like it moved me forward every day. Like I was like, I am going to make this happen. And it was just amazing. So I would say a huge part of, just moving forward in your business is to write down goals and put them somewhere where you can see them every day, whether it's the mirror in your bathroom or on the ceiling of your bedroom or wherever you want to put it to see it. But it just, it really gave me what I would call a powerful mindset where I was like, it's not if, it's when. And I really did believe that with all my heart that it was going to happen. And it's amazing when you put your mindset, firmly where you want it, with a goal, how somehow things just work. I mean, things, it just starts to happen. Like, opportunities came. And a quote I love, and you've probably heard this before, but it says, because a lot of times when you have success, people will say, oh, you're so lucky. You know, they like to use the word lucky. But I love this quote. It says, the harder I work, the luckier I get. And I love that quote, because as we set goals and we work towards those goals, we do get more lucky. Things just happen. We get more customers. We get new recruits. Things happen as we set our mindset that way, to work hard and set our goals. I wanted to share this story. You've maybe heard this story from Christina, but I thought I'd share it because, especially if you're recording it, Christina, then it might be a story that someone hasn't heard yet, and I know it inspired you, and it definitely inspired me. And it's about getting your 4-year college degree. And Orville would tell this story all the time on our calls. Once I made director and I was on calls with Orville, he would say this story quite often, and I loved it. And he would say how to look at your business as getting a 4-year degree in college. When we go to college, you know, we're actually paying a lot of money to be there, right? And we're working towards getting our degree. And while we're doing that, we're waiting tables, maybe we're doing hard kind of jobs that maybe we don't love, but they're bringing in some money to pay for college and things like that. And as we, you know, get through this degree, we hope by the end that we're going to get a decent paycheck, right, with that degree, maybe $50,000, let's say, or I don't know what the going rate would be at this point for a college degree, and probably depend on what you graduate in, obviously. But the thing Orville would say is, he says, if you will put that time into your Scentsy business, that 4 years, and work hard, like you were going to work towards the degree, but you work towards your Scentsy business, you build your team, you develop your customer base, you put that time and effort into Scentsy, and the great thing is it's actually better than getting a degree, because you're getting paid along the way. You're not just you know, paying for college, you're actually getting paid along the way. So you're making money, and at the end of the 4 years, he said, it'll be like you're getting paid like you got your degree, but it's in Scentsy. And now you have a job that you've built a business, you have more flexibility, freedom, you know, you have something that can actually be a legacy for your kids, if you think about it, or your family. You know, once you build your Scentsy business and you continue to grow and build it, you're going to have something that could be for your kids or grandkids, or, you know, anybody in your family that would, as you like, it's a legacy business. And I love that idea that it's something we could actually hand down to the next generation. And I love this quote, and you've maybe heard this also, but it says, work 4 to 5 years like most people won't, and live the rest of your life like most people can't. And if you think about it, there's not a lot of businesses out there where we can work in our pajamas, right? Or we can, you know, work from vacation. We can work from our computer. It's amazing the freedom that this business gives us, and it just allows you so much freedom. And then, not to mention the trips and all the other perks that we can get through Scentsy that you can't get for most businesses. You can't get that. Like, my husband's in pharmaceutical sales, and they'll do an incentive trip, but they might take like 20, you know what I mean? Or like 30 people on the whole trip. I mean, Scentsy takes thousands of people. I mean, it's just amazing. So the opportunities for self-esteem building, you know, this business can build us up inside. We can learn new skills and things that we can do that we didn't know we could do. I bet I could talk to each one of you on this call tonight, and you could tell me ways that you've grown personally from Scentsy, you know, the way you developed things in your personality that maybe you didn't even know you had, leadership skills, confidence in yourself. I've had so many ladies tell me, you know, that, gosh, aside from a paycheck, I have become a better person because of Scentsy, and it's given them confidence in all aspects of their life, in being a mom, and being a friend, you know, any type of relationship. They said that it's helped them, and I think a lot of that comes from Orville and Heidi, and just the positivity that they spread through Scentsy. And so I thought I'd share one more story, because this is a good analogy too with our business. So when I was looking at businesses and I was thinking about my eBay business kind of winding down and wondering what to do, well, there was a local shipping company right in my little town, Kaysville, that he was running a copy and shipping center. And this man was like, I'm going to sell my business. And I'd see him off and on because I'd go in there to ship packages. And he goes, would you be interested in maybe looking at this business? And I said, well, sure. And he actually gave me like his spreadsheet of some financials or whatever, just to kind of give me an idea of what I was looking at for this business. Well, he wanted to sell it for $50,000. And it would include, maybe a few copy machines, his storefront name, things like that. And when I talked to him, I said, well, what about the profit? And this is what he told me. He says, well, if you pay the $50,000, he goes, you might be able to break even in 5 years and start to earn a paycheck after that. And I was like, what? I'm like, I have to invest $50,000 up front, go get a loan, all of that. And I might break even in 5 years. I was like, wow. And luckily I ran the other way, and he actually didn't even sell the business. He actually just went out of business. I guess no one thought that was a very good deal. But, that's something to share with your new team members, is to join for $99 and to start a business, and a viable business, a business where we have wonderful products to sell right off the bat. And this is something I like to think about as we recruit new team members, is say, to your new team members, okay, you've just opened a new candle store. Okay. It's your store. You're the boss. You've invested the money to open the store. What are you going to do to get people to know about your store? What are some things you can do to get your store going? Would you advertise your business? How would you do that? Would you try to get involved with the community so that they could get to know your business in the community? Would you invest in some marketing materials? Definitely, right? Would you think about how to grow your business every day? Do you think if you opened a store, you'd wake up and go, okay, what can I do today, to get my candle store going? Gosh, I've got to get this business going, right? And so I like to say, if we look at our Scentsy business as a business, it'll pay us like a business does, right? We have to look at it that way, and then it will pay us. It'll take some time, just like any business does, right? I think most businesses actually take time to make a profit, no matter what. I don't know if it's maybe a restaurant, any kind of business is going to take some time to make some money. But that's the nice thing with Scentsy, is we can see a paycheck quickly. And I like to say, when you work your business as a business, it'll pay you as a business would. If you look at it as a hobby, it's going to pay you as like a hobby does. So it's like, what kind of paycheck do we want to make, and what can we do to move it forward if we want it to actually, become what we want it, something bigger. And then I thought about what makes Scentsy extra. What are some things that we can really feel that are true blessings and amazing things that they do for us as consultants, that we're so blessed to have, that we wouldn't have if it was our own candle store. And here are some things I thought of. They create all the new products. Can you imagine if you had your own candle shop and you had to come up with all the new scents all on your own? And you had to go and smell them all and decide what smells good and hope that they sell, right? So they do all the work for us. They do all the research and development. They have amazing designs people. They do all the work as far as research and development and coming out with new products. And that's so wonderful. We don't have to have a warehouse full of inventory, right? If we had our own candle store, we'd probably have to have a pretty good sized warehouse to be able to ship from all over. Scentsy does that for us. I know a lot of us have been to the home office and seen the warehouse. It's huge. It's amazing. So another thing I thought of that, is great is we don't have to pay credit card fees, right? Scentsy does that for us. That's another benefit we get through Scentsy. we don't have to have a brick and mortar store. Gosh, think about what a lease would cost on a store. If we had to run our own store, so we can run from our business from our home. And there's many actually tax benefits to that, right? We get a lot of perks by running from our home. So that's another great blessing. So also the Scentsy culture. We've got a wonderful culture to share with our new team members and our teams. They care about us. The home office will bend over backwards, I feel like, to really help us out and be there for us. And we have them to help us out with anything we need. And Orville and Heidi, like I mentioned, they're the best. Like they care about us so much, and they are always there for us. They want the best for their company, and they want the best for us. And just one thing that I'm so excited about is the new products, all the launches they're doing. I mean, the promotions are just amazing now. I just think how blessed we are as they run all these promotions that continue to grow our business, right? I mean, this fall has been fabulous. I can't even believe we've got our contracts with Disney. And I just, you know what? I mean, just to share on a personal note, I feel like Scentsy is a blessed company. I really do. I feel like things it just continues to work. It's just amazing. And I think it's because it blesses so many lives. I feel like there's a higher power here. And I feel like that we are so blessed to have this business. And I feel like they are true through and through. The company is true to us, and we can be true to them. And they're going to back us up and be there for us. And I know that we have an exciting future. I know this is truly a business we can hand down to like the next generation. I just know that it's going to continue to grow. Just a little tidbit. Mark Stasny from the home office, like I've seen him a few times. And when they got Disney a few years ago, or when they were working with them to work that out, he just says it's just amazing. He says when we need something, it just seems to happen. Like Lindsay, that is our designer. I mean, she came to Scentsy and says, I can help you. I mean, she saw us at a farmer's market and said, I can help you with your business. And she could see where she could make a difference and help us with our packaging and make things, even more marketable, because she had worked for Disney. And so I don't know. I mean, just sharing that personal, feeling that I have that it, they're just doing the right things, and they have their heart in the right place, and it's just a huge blessing. So I just want to share that. That's really all I prepared. I don't know if anyone, wants to come on and say anything or anything like that. I appreciate the opportunity to share.
Yeah, thank you for coming on. I have unmuted everyone. So if you've got any questions for Lisa, go for it. I personally took 6 pages of notes.
Oh, you're so awesome, Christina. Thanks.
You know me, I have to take my notes, but this was fabulous information. Many stories that I had never heard before. Some of them I told our team from you, but I would say 75% of them I hadn't heard before. So it's always great to hear it from someone else, and just the things that we get by not having that brick and mortar business. You nailed it, because it's so true. I mean, I run out of paper listing the reasons why you should do this versus why you shouldn't. But again, if no one has any questions, we can end. We're at 30 minutes past the hour. And for those that weren't able to join us, we'll give them the recording, maybe. But I just started the Zoom, and this is new. So some people might be thinking, oh, I thought it was live on the page, or I don't have a Zoom account, or I thought you had to see me. I didn't know I could just have my name on the screen. So it's a learning curve. But I wanted you to be one of our first guest speakers because you are so important to us as our sponsor, Superstar Director, And we want everyone to know who you are as well. So thank you, Miss Lisa, for coming on. And I might even type up my notes, but I can share this information with everybody. Just one last chance. Does anyone have any questions for Miss Lisa? No? Thank you guys for taking the time tonight. We appreciate it. Sean appreciates it. And for those of you that are listening to the recording, thank you guys for coming on listening as well. Everyone have a wonderful night. We'll see y'all again soon.
Thanks, Lisa.
Yeah, it's so
Thanks,
fun to see you,
Lisa.
ladies. Thanks for coming on.